Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now, here's your host, Michael Cirigliano.
Welcome, everybody, to In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Cirigliano, with special guest and NFT investor, Rocco Santillo. So I saw like Dave East, there's DJs and shit like that too, who sell their music as NFTs. So not a picture, but music. How does that work?
Right. So I've been seeing that more and more, and I actually don't know 100% how that will work. I'm guessing it'll probably be literally just like a song, I would say. I don't really know exactly because I haven't looked into it too much. I know Tory Lanez was like one of like in the music industry, at least was like one of like the first people in this stuff, and he was like crushing it. And so he was like one of the, but yeah, I've been seeing that more. Like they're actually saying that NFTs are going to be the reason that record labels are done, because they're saying that people are just going to go this way instead of using record labels, because they can still distribute their music in the way they want, but they don't have someone taking all the money. Because another thing with NFTs is like, if you release an NFT, there's royalties on each one for the creator. So every time that NFT gets transferred, like if I sell it to him, he sells it here, he sells it here, every time that gets transferred, there's like a 10% royalty that goes to creator. So I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's potential to make a lot of money creating NFTs.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's why you see so many, like at least I've seen, there's a lot of shitty projects that got made by people. Like I seen this one, it was called Stoner Cats. It was before I was really in the NFT space, but Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher made it, and they made about $10 million on it, and it was just shit. It didn't do anything after. Wow. But like they made their money, so it's over. Like if you can get people to buy your NFTs, and you're famous, like which is why it's like kind of, I feel like if you're famous, it's pretty easy to make an NFT if you really want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because if you sell out you mint at whatever, you can mint at 0.5 ETH, which is about like $2,000. You sell out 6,000 of those, whatever, do the math. You make all that money. And then it's up to you whether you decide to put that back into the project and make the roadmap good and give it utility or not, which I don't know the whole story about Mila Kunis's project was, but I just know that it didn't go well after.
So there's obviously the route you can take with NFTs where you buy it, the community kind of sets a floor price for it, and you all agree on we're not selling anything under this price. That price, I'm assuming, fluctuates based on the popularity of the NFT.
Yeah.
So what about, I want to tie this into now the metaverse. How are NFTs going to be utilized in the metaverse?
So they can be utilized based on what they are. So like I was telling you, now we can kind of talk about the land, like what I was saying. But so for these profile picture type NFTs, like Bored Ape Yacht Club and stuff, those will probably be mostly used for skins in the metaverse. Like you can probably put that on in some way or another and have that on, and then that'll probably turn you into a celebrity in the metaverse. Like that's pretty much how celebrities will be made in the metaverse, is based on what you'll be wearing and what your brand is, basically how society is still. And then there's games coming out behind these NFTs. So some NFTs they're releasing an NFT and then they're putting in their roadmap that they're developing a game. And this is where the most successful NFTs really come from, is if they can make a game that coincides with the NFT and then lets you earn more stuff from the game for your NFT. So that's how they'll be essentially used, is you'll be able to just bring the NFTs into the metaverse with you. Okay. And like I've seen instances where there's different NFT projects where they have houses, and then you can put your NFTs in the house on display, and you can set up shops like this where people pay to come in and look at that NFT inside the shop in the metaverse. And like this is where like
an art museum almost.
Yes, exactly like that. And this is where the land comes in. So this land, they're being released as NFTs. It's mostly on the two accounts, I'll call them, are Sandbox and Decentraland are probably the two biggest ones. They're selling land right now. And this land is going for disgusting amounts of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, like a lot of money, like for just a little plot, like a little square of land.
on a map in a
Yeah.
in a digital world,
Yeah. So you like
bro.
they're small. Like think about like a pixelated picture and take out one box and you buy that. And you could do whatever you want with it, but you're spending it base like 30,000 and up.
So I want to tie this into Grand Theft Auto for one of two reasons. One, the audience is going to understand that more. And two, I'm part of that audience that'll understand it more.
Right.
So when you're saying that you can buy a small pixel-sized plot of land in relation to Grand Theft Auto, are we talking you're buying like a piece of sidewalk, or are we talking you're buying like a brick on the side of the building?
No. Okay. Yeah. So it's relative. Like to what I'm looking at on a computer screen. If you're looking at a picture of a CryptoPunk, that's what it looks like if I'm looking at a computer, that's what it'll look like. So it'll look like a literal like box, but in the metaverse, you're buying a plot of land that's big enough where you could put a store on or a house on or something like that. And then obviously you can buy bigger land and smaller. And so usually, I mean, you probably could buy a piece that would be the size of a sidewalk. That would definitely not be, I don't think it would be like 30,000, but I could be wrong if you buy it in like a popular area. Because there's gonna be like, it hasn't happened yet, but in this metaverse, there's gonna be spots that are like LA and Miami where stuff's way more expensive to buy. It's gonna turn into that. Who knows what it's gonna be called? But if freaking Kim Kardashian buys a piece of land somewhere, someone's gonna want to buy a piece of land next to her, but it's gonna be way more expensive when he buys it compared to when she buys it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly, because she brought the price up.
Right. So I mean, the land is definitely gonna the land that's going for crazy amounts of money is big enough to put a store, or like one that I just saw, I forgot how much it got sold for. It was, I think, in the millions, was big enough to put a hotel on, and they're planning on making it a casino in the metaverse.
So this metaverse literally is a simulation of real life.
Yeah, and there's literally no limit on how insane it can get. I know sometimes it sounds like you're the crazy old guy outside screaming at the sky, but there really is no limit to how crazy it can get. Like it can literally be like, if you've ever heard of or seen Ready Player One, they put those goggles on and they're there. Like they're literally in that place and they're walking around. Like it could get there. Who knows? Like no one knows how. The way I see technology going and the way that people thinking about like the digital future, like there's no limits. Like I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm really excited for it. I'll say
That's
that.
wild. So have you gotten into the whole metaverse side of NFTs yet, or are you still just like kind of dabbling into NFTs as a whole?
So yeah, no, I'm not really. I wouldn't call myself. I don't think I'm in the metaverse at all, unless you'd say that from me being in NFTs and being in the one NFT that I'm in. Like that would be the only way that I would be attached to the metaverse right now, because I'm not. I wish I would have bought land, because if you would have bought land months ago, you could probably have bought it for $30 and it would be worth fucking hundreds of $1,000s now. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say I'm really in the metaverse yet. But damn, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I don't know.
No, you're good. So the metaverse, it's hard to even understand this shit. Like, so the metaverse is going to be a legitimate thing that people are like actually dedicating time, money, effort to. This can essentially be like, people can wake up and instead of going to work, they can go to work in the metaverse type shit.
Essentially, yes. Like, of course, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. And I think that's the coolest part, is that no one knows what it's going to look like yet. But essentially, yes, that's like what I've been kind of getting from, because I even though I'm not in the metaverse completely, like I look at a lot of shit on it and I research a lot about it because I just think it's so cool. So like, essentially, yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from it. So they're like, but part of the reason that I'm not more like versed in the metaverse, I feel like, is blaming it on my ignorance to how quickly I thought that I could get into NFTs, which is a huge mistake that I see a lot of people making now. It's the same one that I made, even though I didn't lose any money. But like, I started this and I wanted to start buying NFTs like 2 months ago. Right. But when I started, it's like there's so much more to it that you can't just jump in and start buying. Like
walk me through the process of getting ready to and buying an NFT.
Okay. So the best way I would say is there's a few different websites that I can bring up now. There's one called rarity.tools, and that shows you a lot of new and upcoming NFTs, and it gives you their Twitter, website, and Discord.
Okay.
And so you can look at all that, and then it'll tell you how much it's going for, when it's going on sale, all that. So that helps you to look at like upcoming NFTs. And I feel like when I first started, I thought I was like a pro, and I was looking on Rarity Tools like, oh yeah, this one's gonna go crazy. Like I was just completely wrong, because like you think you know what one is gonna go crazy, and you're just like, all right, well that literally did nothing. But
what dictates one going crazy?
So what it's basically the creators, the art. So like if you have a known creator, so you want to look at what they've done in the past. So like if you got someone that's had success in the past with a different NFT project and he's in charge, and you got an artist who's known for some other art, that's a pretty good sign that they're gonna have some success. But that's not saying that's 100% of the time, and it's not saying that 100% of the time the people or the products that you want to get into, and like if you don't know the creator and everything, they're going to do bad. But it's just like that's like a good telltale sign if there's a known creator, good artist, and then you want to look at their roadmap, which I mentioned earlier, which is literally just the future. So it'll usually show 0%, 25%, 50, 75, 100%. It'll show like those are steps, and it shows each step what they're going to be doing at these steps. And it's really good to look at what they'll be doing and seeing how much of that money they get that they're going to put back into the project. But you don't want them to put everything back into the project, because that's where a lot of things fail. Because when you're not paying your workers and everything, that's where everything just, kind of falls apart. Yeah. So, but like, yeah, so that's how you kind of, I would say you look at good ones, and you want to follow people on Twitter, and you want to look at people that have good alpha and people that have like been successful and can call. And so then like, I'm not saying you look at someone like Gary Vee, he mentions the project going, you buy fucking 20 of them, because he doesn't know even, but it's a good place to start. But about buying them. So yeah, you can start by following people, look at what they're mentioning, just look at joining Discord, seeing what people are talking about, seeing what people are excited about. And then like me, like I saw the one that I'm in get posted on a page, and it was just like there was a lot of excitement in the comment section. It was posted by a huge page, and that's always good, because no matter who's buying it, it just matters if people are buying it, and then that's where the community comes from.
Right.
So that's how you want to look at it. But then that's like the easiest part is, okay, not the easiest part, but like say, okay, you find a project, right? Then you have to set up something, you have to get a digital wallet. And there's a few different kinds, but I would say the universally accepted best wallet is the MetaMask wallet. And so this wallet's super important in like your whole entire like journey with all this stuff. Like this wallet can hold crypto, all your NFTs, everything. And you're given a phrase. I just feel like I should mention this just because it's so important, but you're given a phrase in that wallet. It's a 12-word phrase. And you can't tell anyone this phrase, obviously. You have to keep it very secret. And if you lose that phrase, no matter what, you cannot get back into the wallet. Like the creator of the wallet cannot get you back in. Like if that phrase is gone, you're done. Like there's stories about people with like hundreds of $1,000s in these wallets, and they've lost their phrase or broken their little encrypted hardware, and it's gone. It's just floating in the blockchain. Like it's just gone forever.
And there's no way to get that back.
Nothing. There's not. If you lose that phrase, you're done. There's nothing you can do about it.
Fuck.
Which is nuts. And like they make that very clear that there's no way to get it back once you lose that phrase. No matter how much money's in it, you could have $1 billion and you can't get it back.
Bro.
But
that's
which is
crazy.
Which is scary. So like for me, I wrote my phrase down and I put it somewhere really safe, and and hopefully I never lose it, because of course.
Like what I just said. Shit in your wallet?
No, not anymore. I mean, I spent most of it on the NFTs, but I didn't have a shit ton. I had like probably $1,000 in there, but now I got my NFTs in there, so I got
more.
Yeah, I gotta. But yeah. So then you got your wallet set up, and then there's a lot of stuff you have to be really careful with in this kind of thing, because there's scammers everywhere in this space, because it's so easy to scam people because everyone's so naive.
Oh, absolutely.
So like they'll set up literal entire fake websites of the same NFT that you're looking for. and then they'll send you a DM or a message on Discord and be like, minting's live. And then you're like, oh shit, it's live. I thought it was yesterday. And then you go in, then you connect your wallet, and then they take it all out. It's gone. So like when you go on these websites to mint or to get the NFT, you have to connect your wallet to the site, and then that's how you do it. And then you have to like sign. The transaction fee goes through. You have this much in your wallet, sure, and then you get your NFT sent to your wallet. But that's how a lot of people get fucked, because they don't realize that this is a fake website, or they accidentally give people access to their wallet, and then you can't get it back. And like that's another, like when you're scammed out of your wallet, that's another part where you're screwed. You can't get it back. Like you're done. There's too many people.
How can you tell the difference between you actually going in and trying to buy an NFT and you getting scammed? Is there like a telltale sign? Like I know, like for phones, if you get a text message from a number that has an area code in it and it's from like a larger company, typically that's a scam. So is there like a telltale sign that you're getting scammed, or is it kind of like good luck?
No, I mean, like I've gotten tons of scam messages, and like you just got to be smart about it. Like, and like when you join these Discords, because Discord's a huge part of the NFT space, you're gonna have to be on it. If you get into these, or if anybody does, you're gonna need Discord. But on Discord, like you'll join your community's Discord, and then they'll tell you, every community will tell you, we will never DM you. No one official will ever DM you. Don't answer. Don't click on any links. And there's always people that DM you that have the same title. It'll say like the title of the project, and then it'll give you this link. It'll say, this is live. You click on it. And if you click on it, it's okay. You won't be screwed if you just click on it. But once you connect that wallet, then you're fucked.
Damn.
So like, I would say it's pretty, I would say it's pretty easy to tell if it's a scammer though. Like, honestly, like you just have to not be naive. Like you can tell. Like on Instagram, you'll get DM'd by an account that has 15 followers. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure this is I'm not going to send you anything. like it's not like crazy hacking. Like it's literally like I could do it. It's very easy.
Right. It's just them.
I mean, I guess on Discord, I can see it. Yeah. I guess on Discord, I can see it a little bit, because it's a little bit tougher to tell, but still like you think you're the only one that's going to get DM'd on Discord because the minting's live. Like they wouldn't do that separately, first of all.
Right, exactly.
And they've told you a million times that they're not going to do it. So why would you even think?
Right. No, that's a fucking fact. Like I feel like when you're in a community, that's the only communication you're going to have is within that community, right?
Right. I mean, there's different channels within the group chat, but like, you wouldn't get a complete separate. They wouldn't add a channel just for you unless like you created a ticket, which is just like a DM. Like you could tell,
right?
But it's like anything else, like in scanning. Like I'm sure someone's tried to scam you before and told you to put your credit card into this.
Yeah,
you don't do it because you know you're going to lose your money.
Exactly. So with the NFTs, what do you see the grant, like the future greater picture of NFTs? What do you see that being?
I don't think there's any limit on it. Just like the metaverse, I think it goes hand in hand with the metaverse. It can go as far as it lets itself go. Like I literally see it as the entire future. Like I see it as they can become warehouses. They can become record labels. Like I think they're going to be the next thing you can buy clothes on digitally, just everything. They're just going to be represented in this way. So like it'll be art. Like all these artists that have been struggling in the past because they can't get paid for shit are making NFTs and getting more money than they've ever seen in their entire life. Like a very famous person about that is called Beeple, who he's been like in the #1 NFT sales for a while now, because he like was making this digital art like years ago, and people were probably telling him like, what are you doing? Like you're not making any money. He's like, I imagine he said, fuck you, I'm gonna show you. And now you look at him, he's selling everything he sells is going for like 30 ETH bottom. And like, he's making so much money. So like,
Christ,
like bottom, like he's making millions on everything. Like everything he makes is already sold before he even finishes it probably. So like, I don't think there's any, you really can't say like, this is what it's going to be. Cause I don't see it stopping. And like, I'll bring us back to earlier when we were talking about how you have to believe in the vision to really believe in all this. Is like, you need to believe in the future going this way to really allow yourself to go into this. Because if you really, if you still are just like, I don't know, I don't think it's really gonna happen, then you're still gonna keep looking at NFTs as just stupid pictures and stupid videos until you believe in the future going digitally and the metaverse and all of that.
So with you, are you then, because of that, are you going to be like, so NFTs essentially what it sounds like is NFTs are just coding that can be whatever they want it to be. So it can be coding for, like you said, a warehouse, a store, a house, a plot of land, clothes, skins, any of that. So it literally, NFTs are just starting right now as pictures, but as time progresses, they can turn into bigger, more important things.
Yeah, hell yeah, definitely. Like there's already been this new one. It's called Neo Tokyo by this guy. His name's Alex Becker, who I started watching when I first got into NFTs. Him and this other guy, Elio Trades. They made this thing called Neo Tokyo, which is literally just a humongous like digital community game. And literally they were selling these NFTs that are literally just a picture. Like it's a picture, but it's just coding. It literally just coding on the screen, and they call it your identity. So once you buy that, you get an identity, and then you can go into that like metaverse, and that's like your person. But it's so exclusive that the floor price is already at, I think, 71 ETH. So it's like $250,000 to get in, and that's not even the elite class. So there's
fucking Christ.
Yeah, like there's so much shit to it. It's so like there's so many moving parts to NFTs, and there's just so much to it, and it's so interesting. And I just encourage anyone that they should all get into it, because there's, even though people like will tell you like, because it is true that a lot of these NFTs aren't going to make it to the metaverse. Like probably 95% of them aren't going to really turn into blue chips. Like that's the thing that makes blue chips. Like there's not many of them.
Right.
But even that's just saying, that doesn't mean that you can't make money in it still. Like maybe you're not going to be able to sell yours for 30 ETH, but you can still make, I would say, like thousands of dollars each month just by flipping, if that's what you're into. Like if you just find your niche in this space, there's something for everybody.
Right, exactly. So if there was, what advice would you give to somebody looking to get into NFTs, understanding it? Like, what advice would you give somebody who hasn't done it yet but wants to do it?
Yeah, I would, obviously, first thing I would say is do it, like get into it. But I would say do not like FOMO into any project you see. Don't jump in just because you see your best friend jumping in or your favorite influencers telling you to buy something. Do your own due diligence, which is very important. Anything you do, research. You need to know what you're getting into before you get into it. And in the long run, you'll be better for it. Even if you're somebody you know starts buying now and you have to take a month to learn, take that month, because in the end, you'll probably be better off than they are that who's just jumping into stuff they don't know about. Because maybe they'll get lucky once, but you're going to get burned if you're just jumping into shit you don't know about.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's the same thing as stocks. You have to actually know what you're.
It's same shit. You have to do your own due diligence, or else you're going to get fucked. And that's how life is in general, but especially in this space. Again, this is one of the most riskiest, one of the most risky things going on right now. Like one of the most risky streams of income every way you look at it. Because there's also projects that are called rug pulls who will build you up, make you think this is such a great project, and then they'll just fuck the project themselves, the creators. They'll just pull their own whales out, and then it'll drop. So like there's always stuff you have to look out for, and like there's a lot of things you need to learn before you jump into this kind of stuff. Like I said, like I thought I was going to be buying and selling NFTs, making $1,000 2 months ago, and I literally am like just now about to get like my first one fully, or my second one technically.
So is there any way that you've recognized to be able to see when they're going to be trying, like when somebody is going to be doing a rug pull, or is that kind of like if it happens, you're SOL?
You can kind of see that in projects that from the start, there's always a bunch of like, it's never happened to me obviously, but I've heard about one recently. I guess things you can kind of look for is just like shaky start. Like there's shakes and jumps from the start with NFTs, like creators and artists being sketchy, not giving you full information about the project, about not like answering questions, just discrepancies in the information, one telling you this, another one telling you this, just like a lot of unprofessionalism, and then a toxic community obviously will really fuck the whole thing. If you join a Discord and see a toxic community, you might as well just leave the Discord, because if it's toxic before it even releases, it's going to be way more toxic after it releases. That's something you can bet on.
It sounds like community is like the backbone to all of this.
It is basically. I think a lot of people would agree with me in the space that community is one of the most, if not the most important thing about NFTs.
That's insane. So the people really have all the power in this space.
They do. At the end of the day, they basically make the floor, and then there's always going to be paper hands who are just going to flip. But as long as you have enough people who are strong about the project and they hold, like, you can make projects a success. It's all about how everybody is as a whole, and how, if they believe in the artists, if they believe in the creators, then like they can take it as far as it'll go.
Fair enough. So if there was one thing that you wanted to really hammer home with the audience today, like the one thing that you want them to really take away from today's episode, what is that one thing?
I would say probably the one thing that I want everyone to know is that you are not too late. It might feel like you are. Like, that's how I felt 2 months ago, and you're not too late. It's literally day zero of NFTs. It's so new. And if it feels like it's oversaturated, it's because you're so submerged in it that you can't tell anymore. That's what's happened to me. Like, I feel like everybody knows what's going on just because I'm so into it. And then you take yourself out of it, and then you look around, like, it's so new. Don't miss this. Don't miss this entire new thing. Do your own due diligence, and just don't miss this wave of, like, and don't be scared of it either. Don't not believe in it because your parents tell you not to believe in it. Don't not believe in it because a lot of people don't understand it. You don't understand, you're not going to believe in it. So, I mean, I would just say do your own research and then make your decision from there. Don't be scared of it.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to thank you, Rocco, for coming on today and talking about NFTs. You really opened my eyes to a lot of the shit.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I want everybody to make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Put in the comments any questions you have about NFTs. If we have enough, we'll bring Rocco back on to explain some more shit. And thank you for joining us today on this episode.